7 things man should not do with women. It kills attraction instantly. Modern Stoic. As a man, there are certain behaviors you should avoid if you want to foster genuine attraction and respect in your relationships with women. While it may seem like you're doing the right thing, there are some actions that, although well-meaning, will ultimately diminish your appeal. Women may go along with these actions, but they won't feel the deeper attraction or respect that you desire. One key thing you should never do is soften your masculinity in an attempt to make her like you more. Contrary to what many men believe, women are not turned off by masculinity. They are actually attracted to it. Trying to alter or suppress your natural masculine energy in hopes of pleasing her can create an imbalance in the dynamic, one that ultimately works against both of you. In relationships, men and women embody different energies, and it's that polarity that fuels attraction. As a man, you are inherently different from a woman, and she desires to experience that difference. Yet, many men mistakenly attempt to appear more gentle, soft, or innocent in hopes of winning favour. While this may make them appear friendly or kind, it doesn't evoke that primal sexual attraction that comes from a clear distinction between the masculine and feminine. Take, for example, a woman who exudes strength and confidence. She may come across as direct and assertive, traits that many men may find intimidating. In such cases, some men may instinctively try to soften themselves, lowering their masculinity in the presence of her powerful energy. However, when a man maintains his own masculine energy in the face of a strong woman, something powerful happens. The polarity between them intensifies, and the woman begins to feel more feminine, more attracted to his grounded presence. This dynamic is crucial. When a man is able to maintain his strength and confidence, whether in the face of a strong woman or during more challenging moments, he does not allow himself to be intimidated or diminish his own sense of self. This confidence is magnetic. When a woman senses that the man can handle her energy without losing his own, she begins to feel more attracted to him. On the other hand, if a man constantly softens his masculinity or allows himself to be overshadowed by the woman's strength, the attraction fades. The woman begins to lose respect for him, and the emotional connection begins to unravel. Women want to feel that, regardless of how strong they are, their partner can hold his own without compromising his masculinity. In relationships, especially early on, many men mistakenly believe that being gentler and softer will lead to stronger bonds. But this can lead to a sense of dissatisfaction for both parties. The man may feel emasculated, and the woman may begin to feel a lack of attraction. Maintaining your masculinity, staying grounded in who you are, and not being intimidated by a woman's strength will keep the balance in place and create an environment where mutual respect and attraction can flourish. In summary, never soften your masculinity for a woman. It's not what she wants, and it's not what will make you feel like the man you are meant to be. Instead, maintain your authentic masculine energy and watch how it strengthens your connection and attraction in return. Now let's find out together 7 things men should not do with women. Let's go. 1. Try to win her over with gifts or financial favours. Don't ever think that showering a woman with gifts or financial favours will win her heart. It won't. If you try to buy her affection right from the start, she'll accept the gifts. Sure, she'll appreciate the dinners, the vacations, the concerts, and all the other fancy things you pay for. But there's a crucial problem. She won't respect you. She won't genuinely love you. Why? Because she'll see right through your strategy. Women are smart, especially when it comes to this. They know when a man is trying to buy his way into their hearts. If a man thinks that by throwing money at a woman, paying her bills, or taking her to expensive places, she's going to fall for him, he's sorely mistaken. What he's really doing is projecting insecurity. He's signalling that he doesn't believe he has anything else to offer, other than his financial resources. A woman might enjoy the gifts for a while, but it won't build the kind of connection that leads to respect, love, or deep attraction. At best, she'll think you're naive. At worst, she'll pity you. You cannot win respect or love by paying for it. That's not how real relationships work. In fact, The moment you use money as a tool to get her respect, you've already lost it. In a long-term relationship, if you're not feeling the respect, love, or attraction from your partner, your first instinct might be to buy her something extravagant, another gift, another fancy dinner, another weekend getaway, thinking that will turn things around. But it won't. Gifts, while they can be thoughtful, are not going to rekindle that emotional spark. If you think an expensive gift will make her see you in a different light, you're fooling yourself. While she might enjoy the moment, it won't lead to lasting attraction. Why? Because your insecurity is shining through. You're telling her that you don't believe your core qualities are enough to inspire real attraction. Women are incredibly perceptive. They'll feel the difference between a man who is confident in his own worth and one who is trying to buy affection. If you buy her an expensive gift and you're insecure, that gift is just a reminder of your lack of self-assurance. But if you hand her the same gift with confidence, she'll see it through a different lens. She'll appreciate it, not just for its value, but because it reflects the kind of man you are: secure, independent, and self-assured. Confidence is the true currency of attraction, not your bank account. Understand this. You must never use gifts to substitute for what you lack. If you want a woman to respect you, admire you, and truly care for you, you have to be a man she can look up to. It's your non-physical qualities that matter: your mindset, your actions, your sense of self-worth. All of these are far more valuable than any gift or financial gesture. No matter how expensive the present, if you're emotionally fragile, needy, or uncertain, she won't respect you, and she won't be attracted to you. In fact, she'll likely start to feel sorry for you, wishing you could man up and become the confident, self-sufficient man she truly desires. But if you give her a gift and you stand firm in your own confidence, then that same gift becomes a reflection of your strength and self-assurance. You'll command respect, and that's what ultimately drives attraction. So, yes, buying a woman a gift is not inherently wrong, but don't make the mistake of thinking that gifts are the key to her heart. They are not. The key is you, your inner strength, your calm confidence, your self-respect. That's what will make her truly love and respect you. Don't make her question your worth through insecure gestures. Be the man who commands respect without the need for material rewards. And remember, this attraction and love are not for sale. 2. Seek her approval to feel like you're good enough. Another thing that you should never do for a woman is seek her approval to feel like you're good enough. So, for example, seeking approval means constantly checking her reactions to see if she likes you or what you're saying or what you're doing, or analysing her reactions and seeing if she's going to give you a chance with her or if she's going to think that you're good enough. Right. You're essentially seeking her approval. And some of the ways that may come out for a guy is if he's interacting with a woman for the first time and he's finding her attractive, he might ask her, "So, what do you look for in a guy?" And he's hoping to find out that she might say something that relates to him. She might say that she likes this quality or that quality, and he has that quality. And then he's going to feel good about himself. Whereas a guy who doesn't seek a woman's approval is simply going to display the non-physical traits that attract women, and she's going to like him anyway. Right. So, for example, as I said, if he's being confident rather than insecure, she's going to be feeling sparks of attraction for that. If he's flirting at times during the interaction rather than just being neutral, then she's going to be feeling sexual tension. If he's emotionally independent, meaning that he feels good about himself regardless of how she's behaving, then she's going to feel attracted to his emotional strength. But if he's emotionally dependent, where he can only feel good if she's being reassuring and showing him good signs, then she's going to feel turned off by his emotional weakness. So guys who know how to make women feel attracted naturally by displaying the non-physical traits that attract women simply do that. And they're attractive to women. They don't need to seek the woman's approval because they're going to be attractive. And the thing is, if you're interacting with a woman for the first time, or you're in a relationship with her and you're seeking her approval, she will accept that. She will go along with that. Right. Most women just go along with what the man is doing. They're just reacting to him, but she's not going to feel respect and attraction for you, and you're not going to feel good about yourself. You're going to be pedaling, right? Like a duck's feet underwater, just trying to say and do things to hopefully make her like you and feel attracted to you and want you. But it's just not going to be working, because at the end of the day, she's going to sense emotional weakness. She's going to sense that confusion from you, where you don't even know how to make women feel attracted, and you're seeking their approval, you're seeking their acceptance, you're hoping that they're going to like you for some reason rather than just being attractive. And another example of how it may come out of a guy's mouth if he's seeking a woman's approval is if, for example, he's on a first date with her and he asks the question, "So, you having fun?" sort of thing, and he's hoping that she's going to say yes now so he can feel good about himself. Whereas a guy who's not going to be seeking her approval is just going to enjoy the date, enjoy the experience with her, be displaying traits that attract her, and she's going to enjoy that. She's going to enjoy being around him. He doesn't need to get that confirmation from her, if she's having fun or not. Right? Am I doing this right? Sort of thing. He just rolls with it and displays the non-physical traits that attract women, and she'll feel attracted to him and she'll enjoy herself. He doesn't need to check if she's enjoying herself. And the thing is, if a guy asks that sort of question to a woman, she will just accept it. She'll roll with it. Like, she'll react to how the man is behaving, but she's not going to respect him because of that. She's not going to feel more attracted to him because of that. She's naturally going to feel less respect and attraction for him. And importantly, he's not going to feel as good about himself compared to if he wasn't seeking her approval. 3. Base your confidence on how she is reacting to you. Listen up, because this is critical. You must stop, right now, basing your confidence on how a woman reacts to you. That's not how this works. If you let your confidence be a reflection of her interest, or worse, her indifference, you're setting yourself up for failure. If you let your mood shift and your self-worth fluctuate depending on her approval, you're giving her power that she doesn't want, and you certainly don't want her to have. That power is yours, and you need to hold on to it. If you constantly seek reassurance from her to feel good about yourself, you're essentially asking for permission to exist as a man. And that's a sign of weakness, a fatal attraction killer. Women are attracted to strong men who have control over their own emotions and their own lives. When you show up as a man who can't stand firm in his own confidence, you become a liability, not a prize. A woman will notice this, even if she doesn't immediately call it out. She may play along and accept it for a while, but she's not interested in being the one to lift you up, to make you feel good about yourself. That's not her job. Her role is to challenge you, to push you, to respect you, not to carry the weight of your insecurities. When you lose confidence because her behavior doesn't match what you need to feel secure, you're admitting that you are emotionally dependent on her. That is not a trait women find attractive. Confidence must come from within, not from someone else's approval. If you're only confident when she shows you interest, you're looking for validation from an external source, something beyond your control, and that will never lead to true attraction. Attraction is rooted in power, and power comes from within. Understand this. If you're a man whose confidence ebbs and flows based on a woman's reactions, you are showing her exactly what to expect from you in a relationship. She will start to think, this is how he will be when things get tough. He will look to me for strength and reassurance. He will lose his composure if I don't react the right way. And when she sees this, even if she doesn't explicitly say it, respect for you will begin to fade. She may continue to entertain the relationship, but deep down, she will not truly feel attracted to you. Why? Because respect is the foundation of attraction, and respect is earned by being a man who stands firm, who is unshakable in his own worth. If you're constantly seeking validation, you are telling her that you don't trust yourself. And ultimately, trust is a cornerstone of any healthy relationship. Now, many women will try to nudge you in the right direction. They'll say things like, you need to man up or believe in yourself. But those words are empty. They can't give you what you need. A woman might be able to inspire you, but she can't build your confidence. Only you can do that. Only you can decide to stop seeking validation from external sources, including her. He who is not every day conquering some fear has not learned the secret of life, said Ralph Waldo Emerson. What Emerson understood is that true strength comes from facing your fears, conquering your doubts, and standing firm in your beliefs, no matter what anyone else says or does. When you depend on someone else to help you overcome your fears, you're not truly conquering them. You're just borrowing someone else's strength. This doesn't mean you should shut yourself off from others or stop seeking support when you need it. It simply means that your confidence, your sense of self-worth, must be rooted in you. It's about inner strength. If you're relying on a woman to make you feel good about yourself, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. Women want a man who stands confidently in his own skin. They're not looking for someone who crumbles when things get tough or who can't stand firm when they challenge him. In fact, it's the very act of facing those challenges alone and succeeding that builds the respect and attraction you desire. Understand this. Attraction isn't about being perfect, but about being secure in who you are. When you act from a place of self-assurance, when you are not shaken by her reactions, your confidence becomes magnetic. That's when she will be drawn to you, because she will feel the power you exude and she will want to be a part of it. Confidence is not about waiting for the right reactions from her. It's about being so self-assured that her reactions are irrelevant. You must be the one who defines how you feel about yourself. This is your life, your self-worth. You must own it. Your confidence is not hers to give or take away. Don't let anyone, especially a woman, define who you are. Take control. Cultivate your own self-assurance. It's up to you to make sure you walk through life with the power of a man who needs nothing from anyone to feel whole. This is how you win. This is how you master life. This is how you become the kind of man who not only attracts women, but commands respect from everyone you meet. Stand firm. Be unshakable. Your value is set by you, and no one else. Don't let anything or anyone tell you otherwise. 4. Feel apologetic about creating sexual tension, or avoid creating sexual tension to be nice. There's something crucial that many men fail to grasp when it comes to interacting with women, and that's the concept of sexual tension. You might think you're being polite by avoiding it, or trying to be nice by keeping things friendly and neutral, but you're missing the point. Don't apologize for creating sexual tension. Don't avoid it just because you're afraid of coming across as too forward or aggressive. That's the mistake many men make, and it kills attraction faster than you can say, awkward moment. Let's get this straight. If you're talking to a woman and the conversation feels as neutral as a casual chat about the weather, you're not doing it right. You have to understand that women are not just sitting there waiting for you to casually talk about your favorite TV shows or share harmless pleasantries. They want something more, and, trust me, she's waiting for you to lead the way. Without sexual tension, the relationship can't evolve into anything beyond mere politeness. Here's the thing, if a woman is genuinely attracted to you, she'll sometimes try to create that sexual tension on her own. She might flirt, offer a touch, or even throw in a playful, suggestive comment to test the waters. But don't rely on her to do the heavy lifting. You have to make the first move. You have to initiate the tension. If you don't, the interaction will stay neutral. And when that happens, you might find yourself in a position where you're trying to shift gears and go for a kiss, or suggest moving things to a more private space. But it'll feel like an awkward leap. It's like trying to go from 0 to 60 without any momentum. That is the problem you're facing if you fail to create that sexual vibe early on. She won't get that spark, and neither will you. Men who are naturally good with women understand this dynamic. They know that women react to men. They respond to the vibe a man sets. Women are more passive in this regard. They want to see you create the sexual energy before they dive in themselves. It's a dance, one where you need to make the first move, set the tone, and build that spark. Without it, she won't see you as someone she wants to explore a deeper connection with. She might feel that initial attraction, but if there's no tension, the attraction begins to fade. She might even think, this guy's a nice guy, but there's no chemistry. And just like that, What could have been a beautiful romantic connection or even a long-term relationship ends before it ever begins. You need to stop thinking that being neutral or friendly is the way to go. Don't believe that avoiding the creation of sexual tension is a form of politeness. No, it's a form of rejection. You're rejecting the very nature of the attraction between men and women, the attraction that fuels relationships and romantic connections. That is why most neutral, friendly conversations between men and women don't end in anything more than a handshake or an awkward, "nice to meet you." It's simply because the spark wasn't there. That spark is what keeps the conversation alive, what makes the whole dynamic electric. And without it, you're left with nothing more than a nice chat that neither of you will remember in a week. What's even worse, if you're in a long-term relationship or a marriage, the same principle applies. You must still be able to create sexual tension, even after years together. The tension doesn't just disappear. It has to be nurtured, kept alive. Without that, relationships become stale, lifeless, and predictable. She'll start to feel like she's in a friendship rather than a romantic relationship, and you'll feel the same way. The passion fades, and before you know it, both of you are simply existing together without ever really connecting in that intimate, sexual way. Now, let's talk about the consequences of avoiding sexual tension altogether. When a man fails to create that spark, the result is usually awkwardness. Think about it. You're having a casual conversation. The vibe is friendly. Everything's going well. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, you try to make a move, whether it's leaning in for a kiss or suggesting that you hang out at your place. What happens? It feels awkward. It feels like an unexpected shift, like you jumped ahead of the moment without any preparation. And it doesn't just feel awkward for you, it feels awkward for her, too. That's because you haven't built up the sexual vibe needed to make such a move feel natural. On the other hand, when you create sexual tension and that vibe exists, everything flows smoothly. When you lean in for a kiss, it feels natural. When you suggest spending more time together, it feels like a natural progression. The tension between you two has already been established. That is the key to creating a connection that doesn't just end with a handshake and an "it was nice meeting you." Without it, you'll be left wondering why nothing is progressing, why she's not interested, why things feel so off. So, don't be afraid of creating sexual tension. Don't shy away from it thinking that you're being too forward or rude. Be confident in your ability to lead the interaction. Whether it's a first date or a long-term relationship, you need to create sexual tension. It's the very thing that fuels attraction, deepens relationships, and makes the experience exciting. Without it, you're just two people sitting there, exchanging pleasantries with no real connection. And you don't want that, do you? You want something deeper. You want a relationship where there's not just emotional connection, but physical chemistry as well. That only happens when you understand the power of sexual tension and embrace it fully. So, stop apologizing for it. Stop avoiding it. Embrace it. Lead the way. Create the spark. That's how you build something real. 5. Try to earn her desire through good behavior. When it comes to attracting women, there's one mistake men of all ages make, far too often trying to earn her desire by being nice. And by nice, I mean the kind of nice where you bend over backward, do every little thing she asks, and give her compliments that don't feel authentic because they're driven by an agenda. It's the classic nice guy move. And here's the kicker. This approach, it doesn't work. Don't misunderstand me. It's perfectly fine to treat women with kindness and respect. In fact, being respectful and considerate is essential in any relationship. But if you think that will automatically trigger sexual attraction in a woman, you're dead wrong. Why? Because attraction isn't about being the perfect gentleman or doing her chores. Women don't fall in love with men based on how many times you do the dishes or how many flowers you send. No. Attraction is triggered by something far more primal, bold, and, frankly, outside the comfort zone of a lot of men. Now, let's talk about what actually makes her feel desire. It's not being too nice. It's being bold, confident, and masculine in how you carry yourself around her. It's about showing strength, emotional, mental, and physical strength, and it's about being willing to take risks, whether that means flirting with her, maintaining an intense eye contact, or subtly shifting the vibe in the room to one that feels charged with sexual energy. That's what makes her feel attracted to you, not how many favors you've done. You see, women are attracted to men who are direct and unapologetic in their intentions. Men who walk in a room and own it. Men who are comfortable in their own skin. And, let's be honest, it's the bad boys, the rebels, who are often the ones drawing the attention. The guy who isn't afraid to be bold, who takes the lead, who doesn't need to ask for her approval at every step. That's the kind of guy who sparks that internal fire. Don't get me wrong. Women would ideally want a man who is both strong and respectful. But the truth is, if you only focus on being the nice guy and ignore the more primal elements of attraction, confidence, assertiveness, and a certain magnetic energy, she's not going to feel the sexual spark. She'll go along with it, sure, but that's all she'll be doing, going along for the ride without ever feeling that powerful attraction. And if you're hoping she'll eventually recognize how much you've done for her and fall in love with you, forget it. You're not going to get the result you want. This is where many men get frustrated. You've done everything right, but she still doesn't feel that thing for you. You treated her like royalty. You made her laugh. You were always there when she needed you. Yet when you try to kiss her, she recoils, or, worse, she tells you, "I just see you as a friend." Sound familiar? Here's the deal. She doesn't feel attracted to you in that way because she doesn't sense the masculine energy. You might be checking all the boxes of what a good guy should do, but you're missing the one that matters most: desire. Now, here's the hard truth. You can't just sit back and hope she'll tell you what you're doing wrong. Women don't want to be your mentor or guide you through the dance of attraction. They're not there to teach you how to trigger desire. Instead, they're going to react to what you bring to the table. If you're too nice, too passive, too careful with your words and actions, she'll likely respect you. But respect isn't the same as desire. In fact, most of the time, the more you try to be nice and respectful, the less she'll feel that sexual pull toward you. That is not the reaction you want. You have to figure this out for yourself. The key to attraction isn't in how many nice things you do for her. The key is in how you show up. Are you confident? Are you a bit daring? Are you able to keep your cool while maintaining your sense of masculinity? When you walk into a room, do you command presence or do you shrink into the background? You must be willing to take risks. Step outside your comfort zone. Let her feel the energy you're giving off. If she's a woman who is in touch with her desires, she'll respond. Women will get with men who aren't afraid to be bold and confident, even if those men aren't always nice in the conventional sense. In fact, if a guy's too nice all the time, it often turns into a form of desperation, which, let's be real, is the last thing a woman wants. She wants a man who can make her feel alive, who is comfortable with his masculine energy. So, here's the bottom line. Don't think being nice is the golden ticket to her heart. Be the man who can balance strength with respect, boldness with kindness, and never expect that your nice actions alone will earn you her desire. Instead, focus on cultivating your inner confidence and charm. Let that be the foundation upon which everything else is built. That's the kind of man women truly desire. 6. Treat her beauty as though it makes her more valuable than you. Another thing you should never do for a woman is treat her beauty as though it makes her more valuable than you. A woman's beauty has value, right? It's attractive to us as a man. We see a woman that we find attractive, and it feels good, right? It's enjoyable to feel that type of attraction to women. But where a lot of guys go wrong is that they see a woman's beauty and confuse it as meaning that she is more valuable than them. They don't realize that women value different things in men compared to what we value in women. For example, most men don't value bravery in women. It's not something that we are looking for in a woman. If she has it, great. But it's not something that we are looking for. Whereas women feel more attracted to men who are brave, and women feel more attracted to men who are confident. Yet, most men don't really care if a woman who is beautiful is very confident or a little bit confident or average, right? She's beautiful. And most men value a woman's physical appearance more than anything initially. But where a lot of guys go wrong with that is that they think that because they're feeling so attracted to her beauty, then it means that she is more valuable than them. And she will take that, right? If you give that to a woman, she'll take it. It's like, all right, I'm more valuable than you. Okay. But it's not what she wants, and it's not what's going to make you feel good. It might give her ego a bit of a boost, but it's not really what she wants to feel. Instead, she would rather come across a guy who sees his own value and understands that he has value too. If he has the sort of non-physical traits that women place more importance on. For example, as I was saying, women place a lot of value and importance on a man's confidence, but most men don't place much importance on a woman's confidence. Some men don't want a woman who's too shy or a bit nervous, but most men don't really care. Women place a lot of value and importance on a man being able to be assertive rather than being passive and just going along with whatever the woman is saying. But most men don't really care about that. And, in fact, they actually like it when a woman is passive and goes along with what he is saying. Likewise, with emotional independence, women would rather be with a guy who will feel good about himself regardless of how they are behaving, because then they don't feel like a big sister or mother figure in his life. Instead, they're able to look up to him and respect him because he's so emotionally strong. But most men don't care about that. If the woman isn't truly emotionally independent, and she is basing how confident she feels on if he likes her or not, many guys find that empowering. It's like, this girl really likes me. I've got her wrapped around my little finger. Right, I've got her under the thumb. He has the upper hand, so to speak. She's reacting to him. She's hoping that he shows her more signs of interest so she can feel good about herself. And she gets excited and feels happy when he shows signs of interest. Then, she feels sad and insecure if he's not showing that interest. She's trying to impress him more and make him like her more in order to get some positive signs so she can feel good about herself. Many men will accept that. Now, some men would rather a woman be more emotionally independent, but many men will accept that. They'll accept that type of neediness from the woman. It's like, all right, this girl really likes me, but women don't like that, right? So, there are non-physical traits that women place a lot of importance on, and that attract women. And there are opposite traits that turn women off. As a man, you have a decision in life on what type of traits you're going to display. These traits are naturally available to you as a man. For example, you can be confident or insecure. It's up to you. Those traits are naturally available to you. But if you display the opposite traits that are unattractive to women, then you will suffer the consequences of that. Women won't feel respect and attraction for you, and you won't feel good about yourself. You will have difficult interactions with women. You'll get rejected. You'll get dumped. Women will lose interest in you in a relationship. You'll feel confused around women. You'll be trying to do all sorts of things for women to hopefully get them to like you. But you don't even need to do that. If you just displayed attractive traits, they would like you, respect you, love you, and appreciate you. And you're just not going to get that type of love, respect, appreciation, and attraction if you're displaying unattractive traits. You're only going to get that if you're displaying the traits that actually attract women. And I've given you insights into some of the traits that attract women in this video. 7. Compromise your values or beliefs to please her. One of the quickest ways to destroy attraction in a relationship is to compromise your core values or beliefs just to make her happy. It's a trap many men fall into, thinking that if they agree with everything she says, or adopt her views even if they clash with their own, they'll win her affection. The reality is, this approach is toxic, leading to resentment and, ultimately, killing any attraction. You must understand that true attraction is built on the foundation of individuality and mutual respect. When you give up your beliefs to please someone else, you show insecurity and a lack of self-respect. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "The impediment to action advances action." What stands in the way becomes the way. This means when you stay true to yourself, you don't just maintain attraction, you elevate it. Women are drawn to men who stand firm in their convictions, even when it means disagreeing at times. If you constantly align your actions with her preferences, out of fear of conflict or rejection, you betray your true self. And let me tell you, nothing is more unattractive than a man who lacks authenticity. You must stop thinking that sacrifice of self will win her over. It won't. You're not here to mold yourself to fit someone else's image. Respect your principles, voice your beliefs, and stand strong in your decisions. When you act from a place of self-respect, you instantly become more attractive. Let your words and actions reflect who you truly are. Remember, a woman respects a man who knows his worth, and this doesn't mean you have to agree on everything. It means you must stay true to yourself, no matter the cost. To quote Steve Jobs, your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. You can apply this same mindset to relationships. Do not fear standing firm for what you believe in. Attraction thrives when both people respect and embrace each other's differences. You don't have to compromise your values to have harmony in your relationship. Don't cave in just because it's easier. The balance between respect and individuality is key. When you pretend to be someone you're not only hurting yourself, but you're damaging the relationship's foundation. The more authentic you are, the more magnetically attractive you become. The greatest relationships are built on two strong individuals, not two people who've compromised their essence for the sake of peace. You must decide, do you want her admiration or her genuine respect? You cannot have both if you are not being true to yourself. The road to success in any relationship, romantic or otherwise, requires you to be unwavering in your principles. The moment you sacrifice your beliefs to please anyone, including a woman, you've already lost. The moment you betray yourself, you lose your integrity. And with it, any potential for real connection. Women are not looking for weak men who bend to every whim. They're looking for strong, independent men who are comfortable standing alone when necessary. So, do not shrink from conflict. Do not compromise your soul for temporary harmony. True respect and attraction are earned through authenticity and conviction. Be unapologetically you, and the right woman will respect that more than anything else. The foundation of all great relationships is grounded in the truth of who you are. So, let go of the fear of disagreement and stand tall in your beliefs. That's how you build an attraction that lasts. Magnetic phrases that instantly attract women, backed by psychology, modern Stoic. Speak so that others love to listen to you. Listen so that others love to speak to you. Epictetus. Let me share a truth most men never grasp. Attraction isn't about towering height, flashy status, or sculpted looks. It's not the sports car, the suit, or the smooth one-liner. It's something far more subtle and far more powerful. It's the words you speak and how they make her feel. While countless men stumble through bland, forgettable small talk, others spark real connection, sometimes within moments, using just a few psychologically charged phrases. Phrases that trigger curiosity, laughter, and that unmistakable spark. What separates the forgettable from the magnetic? Modern psychology. Over the past decade, I've coached thousands of men and studied countless real-life interactions. Again and again, I've seen how just 3 simple phrases can flip the switch from casual to captivating. These aren't pickup lines. They're not tricks. They're psychological triggers, based on research from institutions like Harvard and Stanford, field-tested by hundreds of my clients, and grounded in timeless Stoic wisdom about presence, clarity, and self-command. One phrase makes you up to 83% more memorable, according to UCLA researchers. Another creates instant emotional intimacy. And the third, it's my personal favorite, able to spark chemistry in under 30 seconds. And the best part, you can use them tonight. Let's talk about that moment when something clicks in a conversation. When her tone softens, when her eyes brighten, when her posture shifts toward you, and something unspoken passes between you both. That's not luck. That's the science of connection in action. I'm John from Stoic Focus, and if you've ever wondered how some men create that kind of magnetic presence without effort or artifice, this is for you. Because most men focus on what to say to impress women, but the ones who succeed, they focus on how to make women feel seen, understood, and drawn in. These three phrases don't just sound good, they feel right. They bypass the surface and speak to something deeper, emotional resonance. Whether you're in a coffee shop, on a first date, or striking up a conversation at work, you'll walk away from this with practical tools to change how women experience you. No games, no gimmicks, just real connection, rooted in psychology, sharpened by Stoic presence, and ready to use. Stay tuned, I'm about to break it all down for you. Phrase 1. The curiosity trigger, the unfinished thought. Never think that attracting a woman requires tricks or manipulation. Think like a modern Stoic, a man who knows the power of calm presence, sharp observation, and meaningful expression. There's something strange, yet deeply human, about how our minds work when someone starts to say something but stops midway. Our brain can't help but chase the rest. It's not a trick, it's psychology. That's the curiosity trigger, the unfinished thought that leaves a door slightly open in her mind. And you, as a man who lives by the blessing of Stoicism, must know how to walk through it with quiet confidence. Picture this: she's telling you about her passion for restoring old furniture or how she once lived in Bali for 6 months. You look at her, intrigued, and say casually, "You remind me of, never mind, it's nothing," or maybe, "There's something about the way you said that, it just made me think," forget it. Say it like it just slipped out, no performance, no drama. Then smoothly shift the topic. That's when the seed is planted. Her mind will keep circling back, wondering. And when she does ask what you are going to say, and she will, you better not ruin the moment with some shallow comment about her appearance. Say something real, something that shows you are truly paying attention. "I was going to say you explain things in such a thoughtful way," or "You remind me of someone who's completely at ease with themselves. That's rare. This is what sets you apart." This is where you stop being just another guy and become someone she remembers. Why does it work? Because it's authentic. It breaks the monotony of small talk. It shows depth, presence, awareness. It creates a natural rhythm that draws her in. Don't fake it. Don't push it. Just notice and speak when it's real, like an old Stoic. You don't need to impress with noise. You impress with stillness, precision, and timing. Remember what Epictetus said: "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Use your words wisely. Let curiosity do the rest." This isn't about playing games. It's about learning how to communicate like a man who understands himself, and in turn, makes others want to understand him. That's the essence of modern Stoicism. That's the power of restraint, mixed with insight. Real-life advice. Practice this in your everyday conversations, with friends, co-workers, even strangers. Pay attention, leave space, be intentional. You'll notice people lean in more, not because you're loud, but because your silence speaks volumes. If this resonates with you, or if you've ever used a phrase like this and seen how powerfully it works, drop your story or thoughts in the comments. Men who live with the strength of the blessing of Stoicism grow faster when they learn from each other. Magnetic phrase 2, the secret compliment. Compliment the hidden. Most men get this wrong, and they get it wrong every single day. They think compliments are currency. That if you throw enough your beautiful coins into the fountain of attention, you'll get love or desire in return. But here's a brutal truth. By the time a woman is 25, especially one who is conventionally attractive, she's already immune to flattery. "You're hot. You look amazing. Wow. Beautiful smile." These are no longer compliments. They are white noise. And in a world filled with digital echo chambers of generic praise, what women crave isn't more noise. It's signal. Something that cuts through the fog. Something that sees them. And that's where the secret compliment comes in. This isn't about seduction. It's about mastery of attention, presence, and the power of precision. Stoic lessons tell us don't waste words, speak only when it improves upon silence. A compliment should do exactly that. Not flatter her ego, but touch her identity. So what exactly is a secret compliment? It's not about appearance. It's about observation. True observation is rare in today's rushed world. The kind of attention that notices her thoughtfulness, her timing, her quiet leadership, her subtle empathy. That's the kind of attention that changes the emotional temperature in the room. The power lies in its depth, because when you compliment a woman on something she actually values in herself, you don't just impress her, you see her. And that feeling, it's intoxicating. According to a Princeton study, compliments that focus on skill or identity, like intelligence, empathy, or creativity, create 3 times more attraction than compliments on physical looks. Even more striking, character-based praise is remembered 5 times longer. Think about that. 5 times. That's the difference between being another guy in her inbox or the man she replays in her mind at 2 a.m. The Stoic man understands this. He doesn't seek shallow victories. He seeks resonance, because that's where true power lives. So how do you use this first? Learn to wait. Don't force the moment. Let it rise naturally. The Stoic life is built on patience and presence, not performance. Watch her. Listen. Then be specific. Don't say, "You're smart." That's lazy. Say, "The way you broke that down showed you've thought about it deeply." Or, "Your take on that topic made me see it differently." That's rare. That level of specificity sends a signal I see beneath the surface. And being seen, not just looked at, is what builds connection. Real connection. That's how Stoic strength meets emotional intelligence. You don't shout. You observe. You reflect. You deliver a compliment like a calm arrow, sharp, silent, and direct to the center. Let's put this into action. Here are examples that work. You have a real talent for making people feel heard. That's rare. Or, there's something about the way you speak. It's calm but grounded. You hold space for people. Or even, when you shared that story, it showed a lot of self-awareness and bravery. These aren't lines. They're reflections. When delivered with soft eye contact, a slight pause, and zero need for her approval, the impact is quietly powerful. You're not fishing for a reaction. You're building emotional weight. And here's the sequence that unfolds. First, surprise. She thinks, wait, he noticed that. Then, validation. He sees something in me. Most people miss. Finally, attraction. But not the kind you see in movies. The kind that's slow-burning, magnetic, and real. Now, if you want to take this to the next level, there's an advanced move. The compliment sandwich. Structure it like this. When you did X observation, it showed Y quality or value. That's rare because Z context. Let's break that down. Example. When you redirected the conversation to include Sarah, it showed incredible emotional awareness. Most people wouldn't have noticed she was left out. That's presence. That's insight. That's Stoic communication, direct, observant, compassionate. You become the type of man who sees what others miss. And in doing so, you become unforgettable. But beware. There are red flags. If she replies with a flat thanks and moves on, your comment may have lacked depth. If she looks uncomfortable, you may have gone too personal too fast. Dial it back. And if she questions your sincerity, you weren't specific enough. Vague praise smells like strategy, and women can sense manipulation. Don't compliment to get something. Compliment because it's true, and because you've earned the right to say it through your attention. That's the difference between boys chasing validation and men rooted in purpose. That's the difference between flattery and truth, between noise and signal. Here's where Stoic philosophy weaves deeply into this. Marcus Aurelius said, "Look beneath the surface. Let not the slave of appearances rule." He wasn't just talking about people. He was talking about life. But when applied to relationships, that same lesson becomes a weapon of attraction. You must learn to see beyond the face, beyond the curves, beyond the Instagram filter, see the integrity, the effort, the thought process, compliment those, and you'll become rare in a world drowning in empty praise. Stoic men don't need to be loud, they need to be accurate. In a culture addicted to speed and superficiality, the man who sees with depth becomes a lighthouse. And let's be clear, this doesn't just apply to romantic relationships. This kind of praise works everywhere, at work, with your kids, even with strangers. We live in a world where real acknowledgement is scarce. Most people are starving to be seen for who they are, not what they look like or what they do. So if you want to stand out, be the man who pays attention, not with thirst, but with presence. You don't need tricks, you need truth. The Stoic life teaches us that real influence starts with discipline, with listening, with controlling your own need to impress, and replacing it with the desire to understand. So here's your challenge, and I don't mean this lightly. In your next conversation, pay attention, listen for something that reveals character, and then offer a compliment that has nothing to do with appearance. Make it about identity, about intention, about effort. You'll be shocked at what happens. Because when you speak to the soul, not the surface, you don't just win her attention, you win her respect. And respect is the root of all real connection. Don't aim for applause, aim for alignment. Speak like a man who sees clearly, act like a man who feels deeply. That's the Stoic way. And in a world full of talkers, that makes you magnetic. Phrase 3. The reverse question. The psychological power play. This is not a trick. This is not a gimmick. This is a weapon, forged from the fires of psychological dominance, sharpened by modern Stoic principles, and designed to cut through the noise of ordinary conversation. Most men live their lives asking questions to women in the hope of being liked. But what they fail to see, what they refuse to see, is this: the one who asks the questions might lead the conversation, but the one who reverses them, he owns the connection. That man becomes unforgettable. Why? Because he breaks the script, he disrupts the pattern, and in doing so, he hijacks attention, rewires attraction, and forces a deeper level of thought. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the colour of its thoughts." When you flip a question back at her, you force her soul, not just her mind, to engage with you. You must understand the battlefield. Every woman has endured the same dull interrogation. What do you do? Where are you from? What do you like to do for fun? Men clamour to prove themselves, but you flip the frame. You don't prove, you pull, you turn the light back on her and say, "Why do you think I'm single?" What's your guess? I could ask you the same. But I think I already know. Suddenly, she's not evaluating you. She's qualifying herself. That's power. That's positioning. That's psychological mastery. You're not answering. You're inviting. You're teasing. You're making her do the one thing most women rarely do: chase. I had a client, mid-40s, successful, sharp, but his words lacked edge. Until he learned this technique. "First date?" she asks. "So why is a guy like you still single?" He smiles, leans in, and with calm precision says, "What's your theory?" Boom! She laughs, blushes, and says, "Maybe you're too picky." He counters, "Interesting. What makes someone too picky in your eyes?" And just like that, the walls drop. The real conversation begins. Not surface-level noise, not robotic Q&A, but connection, depth, curiosity. The game changes. Here's where you sharpen the edge. Add micro-signals, the raised eyebrow when you say, "I think I already know." Let your gaze linger, just for a second, on her lips. Give a slow smile, not forced, not needy, but deliberate, confident. Then deliver the bait and switch close. But the real reason is more interesting. Her mind ignites, her eyes lock in, her curiosity spirals. She has to know more. You just flip the power dynamic without saying more than 10 words. Now, I'll give it to you straight. Most men screw this up. They use it on basic facts like, "Where do you live?" or "What's your job?" No, that's lazy. That's evasive. This tool is surgical. Use it with precision. And never, I repeat, never, Use it without a direction to go next. If she insists on an answer and you fumble, the tension breaks, the magic dies. So stay sharp, be ready, be in control. This isn't just game. This is Stoic warfare. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you respond to it." That's what this is. You're shaping the interaction, not reacting, dictating. Marcus Aurelius mastered the art of internal control. Now you're mastering the art of external influence. This is the modern Stoic's domain. Not silent detachment, but silent dominance. You don't need to impress. You pull, you frame, you guide. Here's the truth. No one tells you women are not attracted to answers. They're drawn to mystery, they chase tension, they crave the unknown. And when you become the man who doesn't just answer, but makes her wonder, you're no longer a guy she met. You become the experience she can't forget. That's the power of the reverse question. In today's world of swipe-left conversations and shallow small talk, this is your edge. This is your leverage. You are not just another profile. You are the moment that made her think, the moment that stood out, the moment she replayed. And when other men are busy proving, just by asking better, you prove nothing, and yet prove everything. So next time she asks you a personal question, don't answer like the masses. Flip it. Flip it with strength. Flip it with poise. And flip it with the precision of a man who knows his value. That's what makes her lean in. That's what makes her curious. That's what separates the forgettable from the magnetic. Because in a world where everyone talks, you play the game on a deeper level. That's how modern Stoic men win. That's how you win. If this hits home, if you're ready to become the man who no longer chases approval but commands attention, drop a comment below. I am the frame. Like, subscribe, save this post, and start practicing today. Because your next conversation isn't just a chat, it's a power play, and you hold the cards. Phrase 4. The future snapshot. Emotional time travel. You want to spark a connection that lingers in her mind long after the conversation ends. Then you must learn the art of emotional time travel, a psychological trigger that's subtle, magnetic, and devastatingly effective when used with the calm precision of a modern Stoic. This isn't about flattery. It's not a gimmick. It's about leading her imagination somewhere real, personal, and inviting, a place where you and her already exist together. You're not just flirting, you're building a world, and she starts to see herself in it. Why does this work? Because the human brain is a storytelling machine. Evolution wired us to constantly imagine the future. It's how we survived, by mentally rehearsing outcomes. What if this animal charges? What if the storm comes early? We project, simulate, and feel emotions as if they were real. Psychologists call this projective identification. When someone paints a vivid scenario, our mind doesn't just observe, it enters that story. We emotionally bond to the vision, especially when we're part of it. That's what you're doing here, inviting her into a mental movie where the two of you are already a duo. Not serious, not pressured, but real enough to spark curiosity and desire. Here's how it sounds in action. Light, casual, offhand, yet powerful. You'd be the type to insist on planning the playlist for our road trip, argue about it, then secretly love my picks. If we ever started a debate club, I already know you'd take it way too seriously. You'd definitely be the one dragging us to that weird art exhibit at 11 a.m. on a Saturday. These lines work because they're not about seduction. They're about co-creation, a shared future. And you're planting that vision like a seed, no pressure, no expectation, just possibility. And that's the secret. The strongest connections aren't forced, they're invited. Let's break it down. These phrases ignite playful rapport. You're teasing, not pleasing. You're not trying to win her over. You're saying, this is the world I live in. You'd fit here. That kind of confidence, calm, centered, amused, is rare. It's what women find irresistible, because it signals strength, not need. It also frames you and her as a team, a subtle alliance. You're not saying I want you. You're saying, we'd make a hilarious pair, and that shifts the dynamic entirely. Now, you're not pursuing, you're co-creating, and lastly, it triggers emotional visualization. Her brain fills in the gaps. She starts to see it, the car, the music, the banter, and suddenly, you're not a stranger. You're familiar, safe, but intriguing. And here's what separates the amateurs from the magnetic. You must keep it playful. That's non-negotiable. If you come off needy or calculated, the whole thing crumbles. This isn't about forecasting weddings or planning kids. That's heavy. That's pressure. The Stoic man knows better. He doesn't cling to outcomes. He enjoys the moment. He dances on the edge of connection without falling in. That's what keeps the mystery alive. Think of it like this. You're not selling the future. You're inviting her to glimpse it. That's the difference. One feels desperate. The other feels charismatic. When you speak from a place of abundance, not lack, she feels it. You're not trying to get something from her. You're offering a story and letting her step into it on her own terms. Now let's tie this to the wisdom of the Stoic life. Seneca once wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." And he was right. Our minds create disasters that never happen. But the opposite is also true. We can connect more in imagination than in reality. If we know how to guide the vision, this is your power, to lead her, not through seduction or persuasion, but through imagination. The Stoic man is not needy. He does not demand affection. He simply embodies a life so interesting, so centered, that others want to step into it. And this future snapshot is how you let her in. This is not manipulation. It's storytelling, done with integrity. It's one of the most powerful tools in your arsenal. And it requires practice. So don't wait until you're in the moment. Train this like a muscle. Think about playful futures you can reference on the fly. Observe her personality. Is she artsy, competitive, introverted Taylor? Your scenarios to reflect her essence. But don't compliment her directly. Instead, reflect her back to herself in a world where you're part of the frame. That's what magnetism looks like, not needing her approval, but seeing her clearly and showing her that vision without flinching. Let's ground this in real life. Say you're on a walk with her after coffee. You're laughing, trading stories. You glance at a bookstore window and say, "You'd totally be the one dragging me into that obscure poetry section," and then pretending you don't love that I'm nerding out over old philosophy books. She laughs. Why? Because it's light, specific, playful. But it also subtly says, "I see you. You're quirky. And I'd enjoy that with you." That's powerful. That's Stoic attraction. Not flashy, not desperate, just grounded, clear, and undeniably warm. And here's your advantage as a man in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, or even 70s. You have experience, perspective, depth. You've lived, you've failed, you've risen. Use that. The Stoic life isn't about hiding emotion. It's about mastering it. Your calm presence, your ability to laugh at chaos, your confidence without aggression, that's your magnetic field. And this technique, it amplifies that energy tenfold because it allows her to see you with her without any risk. No ask, just invitation. You must remember these women are emotional time travelers by nature. They feel their way into the future. That's why this method works so well. You're giving her a taste, a possibility, a door half open. And if you say it with ease, if you laugh with her rather than try to impress her, she won't just hear your words. She'll feel the connection. So practice this. Pick one playful future scenario and use it this week. Don't script it. Don't recite it like a pickup artist. Just feel into the moment. Watch her body language. Feel the rhythm. And when it's right, drop the line like a casual inside joke. Then let it go. That's the key. The Stoic doesn't cling. He offers, then moves on. And in that space of non-neediness, she leans in, curious, interested, drawn to the calm, grounded man who made her feel something real with just a few well-placed words. That's the art. That's the game. Not chasing, not pleading, but inviting. Imagine the future. Say it with a smile. Then return to the present like a man who knows his worth, because that's who you are. The man who doesn't beg for connection, but creates it through presence, vision, and play. That's what makes you magnetic. That's what makes her remember you. And that is the Stoic way. And that's a wrap. Remember what Marcus Aurelius said, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. That's not just ancient wisdom, it's timeless truth. These phrases and techniques, they're not tricks. They're tools to help you become more grounded, more confident, and more you. So here's my advice. Don't chase approval. Instead, focus on becoming someone you genuinely respect. The right people will naturally be drawn to that. Be bold, be aware, be authentic.